So today we're going to talk about SASE, secure branch networks, Fortinet SASE SD-Branch, and AireSpring's managed services and support of those products. And I know everyone is eager to learn more and more about SASE. Fortinet has a complete product line for this solution. So I'm very excited today to be able to do this training with you. And happy that Dante Mercurio has been able to join us again. Dante, if you recall, you were, if any of you saw our Supercharge Your Managed Firewall Service presentation earlier this summer, Dante was the presenter on behalf of Fortinet for that one. Very knowledgeable individual. He's an NS8, I believe, right, Dante? Certification at Fortinet, the highest you can get. And you'll hear a little more about that, folks, during the presentation. He's also CISSP. Which is one of the higher levels of security certification. So you've got two experts here today. I can't think of two better people to do this presentation today, as a matter of fact. Mike, of course, we have Mike Chase from AireSpring, our Senior VP of Solutions Engineering, who does our monthly boot camps on SD-WAN and SASE. If you haven't attended one of those, please consider doing it. We'll have one in October, and you'll learn a lot. If you need to get a little caught up, or you want to learn a little more in-depth information on this technology, please join one of the boot camps. With that being said, I am going to turn things over to Dante, and we'll get started.
Thank you, Ellen. I appreciate the introduction. My name is Dante Mercurio. I am the Director of Systems Engineering at Fortinet, and our team supports AireSpring as a partner, and I'm here today to help discuss about secure branch networks. Now, one little clarification, I am an NSE 7, not quite an 8. I do have 2 8s on my team though, so I think with management, I need to make sure that my team can outperform me. So, but I have been with Fortinet for 8 years and been in the cyber industry over 20 years at this point. So today we're going to be talking a little bit about SD-Branch and the solution that combines with AireSpring to deliver the solution. Any branch solution or any managed solution consists of 3 parts. So we've got the products, which in this case is Fortinet, and then you've got the people that support it. In this case, it's going to be AireSpring, as well as some of our techs on the back end to help support the solution. And then you have the processes, which are the secret sauce from a delivered managed solution. So I'm going to talk a little bit up front about what SD-Branch is and some of our product sets. And then I'll hand it off to Mike, who will tell you a little bit more about the people and the processes handling the managed solution behind it. So what is SD-Branch? SD-Branch is a expansion of an SD-WAN solution to also include secured LAN structures internally. So it's extending that capability for added visibility and added management optimization. So why is this important, and why are your customers looking or will be looking to expand a border security solution and including the LAN components of this? There's a couple reasons we're seeing in the market. The first is that organizations are really viewing cybersecurity as a business risk as opposed to a technology risk. So what's the difference here? Well, if you don't see it in the news, it's probably a technology risk, right? Something like my email was down for a few hours, or the backup failed, or even we had a virus on the network, but it didn't really affect anything but Joe's PC. That's a technology risk. Business risk in the news this week was MGM down for 10 days. All business operations stopped. Caesar's Palace paid $15 million to stop a ransomware attack. That's why the business is taking a look at cybersecurity and saying this is something that will affect our business and ability to operate, as opposed just to a technology risk. It's giving it a bigger insight into the business, and they're taking more visibility on issues like this. So that's the first thing, is the business risk associated. The other thing driving the need for a secure SD-Branch is the number of devices that are coming onto networks. Projected over 55 billion connected IoT devices by 2025. Everybody's experiencing this with tablets and PCs and phones and random devices that are coming up on the network, smart systems that are running OT systems within the building, HVAC items, and then printers and everything that's getting added to the network. All of that requires visibility from a security perspective and needs to be wrapped into some level of security policy. If all you're doing is monitoring what's coming in and out of the network, you're not seeing any of this. And so it's a glaring hole. And on that, in order to be able to do that, there is an initiative for IT organizations to consolidate. And this is an opportunity from our perspective. Because consolidation is kind of where Fortinet plays, and we'll talk about that a little bit. So as you're looking at this, a organization is very expansive at this point. It used to be really easy. You just pushed all traffic through a single site, and that's where you dropped your firewall and you managed security going in and out. But now you've got remote users, you've got campuses across different types of structures, you've got small and large branch offices, home offices, and they're all trying to connect to services that are no longer just at data centers. They're software as a service structures, they're public clouds. So one of the ways to try to consolidate where you're managing security is down to the port level. Right now, organizations are doing this in a disjointed manner. What they're doing is they have single solution structure that's doing their border security, and then a mixed match of LAN and AP structures, and they may not talk to each other, so they're trying to bolt on some security functions on one, managing it through the other. It makes sense with a consolidation fashion to bring this all together so that it's a single solution that is managing your security structure, where you're plugging in, bringing it as close to home as possible. And that's where we fall into place. So Fortinet Security Fabric and our vision in regards to security is that everything we have talks to each other and is able to be interactive and part of the security solution. That's that way you don't have a disjointed structure, you don't have multiple management consoles, you don't have to react to different types of alerts, and you get better context in what's happening. It also allows us to react to it quicker. It'll allow our solutions to be able to take proactive actions on things like switch ports or AP clients in a more proactive fashion because it is a cohesive solution. With this, we're seeing the convergence of networking and security, and SD-Branch is just an extension of that. We've talked about this on the previous webinar with secure SD-WAN, which is the functionality of creating the external access to it. This is just bringing it in to the network. So adding switch and Wi-Fi capability to the branch router that is delivering SD-WAN connectivity. It gives you more context, it gives you more information regarding those systems, allows an organization to enact better security policies across the structure. Overall, our vision is to deliver this in a cohesive fashion. So making it as secure as possible across our entire structure, making it very easy to do. So convergence and having a single platform is a whole lot easier to manage than multiple platforms. It also, with troubleshooting and operational benefits in regards to the efficiencies there as well. And then adapting it with some intelligent capabilities from the security fashion. So all our security intelligence gets pushed down into the solution to be able to make good decisions and valid decisions in regards to isolating issues, isolating desktops or PCs, and making sure that the user experience is good overall. An SD-Branch structure or a secured LAN happens in a couple different fashions. So when you're talking to your customers, there may be a campus level solution, which is a little more diverse. So it may be kind of a structured across the entire campus. There may be multiple points, and we offer solutions that fit in all these models. An SD branch may be a single small branch, allowing just access to WAN and LAN and AP connectivity within a single site. OT, you may have customers that have OT devices that need to be secured, and those devices tend to need an additional layer of security outside of just connectivity through IT. And then you have teleworkers, which may be small sites or just a single user that are remote. And having a LAN edge solution for each one of them, we have models that fit in every category for there. So secure LAN edge difference overall, as opposed to a disjointed scenario, you're combining the functionality of your network firewall with your wireless and switching. That's it in a simple nutshell. So when you're talking about SD-Branch and secured LAN, that's all the requirements are. You've got your firewall, but you also have wireless and switching integrated to it. From our perspective, that becomes a cohesive one console, one config type scenario. So you don't have a separate management console for managing wireless. You don't have a separate console for managing switching. You just manage all security, wireless, and switching through a single console. This ensures that there's efficiencies in licensing, and there's also efficiencies in simplified operations. Makes things a lot easier. There's going to be fewer mistakes made, and it's going to ensure a consistent configuration from a security perspective, but also a networking perspective across the organization. We have models that go across the entire structure, so there are many ways to mix and match these. AireSpring supports a number of these, so you can work with them on which models, and they'll go over which solutions fit within their managed solution. From a FortiGate side, and where you start is our next gen firewall or FortiGates. We have over 17 models ranging from the smallest SMB solution all the way up to enterprise and data center grade solutions. Those systems all run the same operating system, all the way from the smallest one to the largest one. All of them have an integrated wireless LAN controller and an integrated switch controller. That allows them to manage and control the FortiAPs, of which we have 10 models, indoor, outdoor, some with external antennas that can be utilized, others that have integrated antennas, and also our FortiSwitches, 40 plus models there, ranging from small single site type 8-port switches all the way up to data center and top of rack type switches. So we have a wide range here. Our FortiGates manage any of the FortiAPs and any of the FortiSwitches, and they all interact and get managed as a single solution, which makes it beneficial to your customers. How do we do this? We do this through a technology we call FortiLink, and that is a secured connection between the FortiAPs and FortiSwitches to our FortiGate firewall. That allows us as an organization, as a solution, to do some unique features, such as inspection of traffic over a LAN. So in between ports on the same LAN, we can manage traffic control, and we can enact security capabilities. We also have features and capabilities within the firewall to control port access and the ability to manage security structures on there. That's where you're getting the added security, the convergence within our solution, and the efficiencies across the single management plane. So how does the market see us with this vision? Well, we're in a top right-hand leader quadrant for 2 of these, and in the visionary quadrant for the 3rd of the components that are part of an SD-Branch solution. So the Gartner Magic Quadrant for SD-WAN, you'll see we are the highest in ability to execute. In the Gartner Magic Quadrant for network firewalls. We are also a leader in highest in regards to ability to execute. And then we are a visionary within the enterprise wired and wireless LAN infrastructure as well. So we're one of the only ones in these three categories with our, and we have obviously a very high level of ability to execute. So we can handle whatever solutions your customers are requiring. So how does this look from your standpoint from a market? Well, a couple of weeks ago, we had a discussion about secure SD-WAN and what the market is for that. And it is a dwindling branch router solution. Most organizations are pushing towards an SD-WAN. So it's a growing market. It's a $6 billion market. Moving your SD-WAN solution to an SD-Branch solution increases your market capability. So you're moving from what is currently a $6 billion market to an additional $20 billion market in the case of wireless and switching together. So this is the chance to embrace a solution set and expand on one to get additional revenue from your customers in this fashion. They're going to have wireless and switching. Why not have one that is secured and integrated and gives additional benefit there? So this is moving from the edge market into the LAN market, and it is expanding the market considerably. So when you're talking to your customers about SD-WAN, and what you should also be considering is SD-Branch, and asking them if their internal systems that they're going to be connecting the solution to is, one, secured. Do they have a methodology of securing the ports and the wireless structures that are connecting out through the internet? Is it integrated in any fashion? If we find something on the firewall, are they going to have the ability to stop the traffic at the port or at the client side? Yeah, how is it managed? Or they have separate management consoles? Would it make sense that this is to have a single management console and make it more efficient for them from a training standpoint and visibility standpoint and alerting standpoint? Is the solution automated? Can something react to, on the inside, react to an issue that is seen on the outside? And is it scalable? Can they scale from their smallest needs all the way up to their largest needs? So those are some of the things that you should be looking at when you're looking at SD-Branch. And with that, I thank you for your time, and I'm going to pass it off to Mike Chase to tell you a little more about how AireSpring is bringing this as a managed solution.
Thanks, Dante. Great job. We're very happy to be partnered with Fortinet. These guys have been tremendous to work with, and the solutions are doing wonders for all of our customers globally. Just so you know, for those who haven't already heard, we've deployed these to countries and continents all over the world. We sell internet and these solutions from Fortinet in over 190 plus countries. So you've come to the right place to explore what's possible with these products. Now, we've gone beyond SD-WAN now to SD-Branch, and anybody who's ever had to run a local area network knows it's not easy. You know, you've got a lack of IT manpower, particularly when you're deploying domestically, regionally, internationally. Just getting to the sites is challenging, right? And then the visibility, trying to get network tools so you can see what's going on with the network, get the alerts, deal with the issues that come up is very, very challenging. You're backing all of this equipment with a multi-million-dollar system with FortiManager and FortiAnalyzer, which are provided to you for free. If customers were to go out and buy that on their own, you know, the most basic deployment of that is just shy of about $40,000. So we, you know, the value that we bring and the cost basis that we remove here at AireSpring by leveraging these products is significant. You run into lack of coverage issues with Wi-Fi. I mean, you may start off with one Wi-Fi access point, but what happens when you got to scale? What happens when you run into, you know, things that are interfering with the Wi-Fi signal? In the 2.4 gigahertz range, for example, water or anything that has water in it interferes with the signal. The human body is, you know, about 70% water. Plants, other obstructions, you know, metal structures in your building, brick structures in your building. So it can be very challenging to eliminate dead spots in there. and congestion and so forth. You know, microwaves operate in the 2.4 gigahertz range as well. So you've got a lot of devices that are running around in an office that can cause your experience to be less than optimal. What happens when everybody rushes to the conference room? How is that load distributed amongst your access points? So there's a lot to be considered when you not only design a LAN or a local area network properly, but then you extend all the features that you've kind of gotten used to in SD-WAN, where you want the security, you want the performance, you want the visibility. That's what we're bringing here. Now, what exactly is SD-Branch? What are the components? What are the ingredients? Well, there's really a couple of pieces to this. Obviously, you're starting off with SD-WAN, and that's kind of your edge perimeter box for Fortinet. That is your FortiGate firewall, right? Because it can do secure SD-WAN. As you move kind of farther along the chain here, that's where you're introducing the switching and the Wi-Fi, not just the next generation firewall. And then backing that with the visibility that you need and the configuration management, right? What if you have to roll back a config or policy rule in the firewall, et cetera? That's where FortiPortal, FortiManager, and FortiAnalyzer come together. FortiManager is really focused on devices and configurations. FortiAnalyzer is dealing with those real-time threats. And it's very nice when you have all of this, not only within a particular site or a campus, but many different sites, many different campuses. That's where the value as you scale really is seen by your customers, because now you're looking at, not going to each device and looking through the logs and trying to get individual alerts that make sense. You get the big picture. Is somebody attacking my organization right now? Or is, illegal software being used in my organization? There's protocols and applications that I can see running anywhere in the organization through one single pane of glass and instantly say, wow, that shouldn't be happening, right? And so that's where that comes in. So FortiAnalyzer gives you that, kind of unified view of all the logs and the alerts and what's going on. FortiManager for device configuration. FortiPortal kind of takes the best of both of those portals and, gives you that kind of easier view, because there's so much you can do in each one of those portals. It can be overwhelming for novice users. As they pick up speed and get into the portals more, you'll see that they become more savvy. But FortiPortal kind of takes the cream of the crop, if you will, from those two and combines it together. You can back all of this up today with our wireless WAN as well. So, let's say that somebody plows through all your fiber, takes out, all the fiber in the trench, or come what may, there's ways to fail over so that essentially you won't be down. And that's one of the joys, of course, we've learned from the SD-WAN market. So comprehensive portfolio, but this is basically SD-Branch. You've got your edge device, your firewall, you're doing your SD-WAN, et cetera, controlling security and access. Then you've got your switches. Those are providing important things like power over Ethernet, VLANs, layer 2 separation, et cetera. And then, of course, your branch Wi-Fi, which can start off with one unit and then actually merge into being indoor or outdoor wireless mesh, which is very self-healing. Is another great thing about that. It spreads the load when people run to conference rooms. There's a lot of different design considerations there. All of that's being factored in with this product when you sell it to your customers. That's the value that AireSpring is bringing, the managed services, right? At the end of the day, any customer can, and many have gone out and, their own firewall or switch or Wi-Fi access point, but not all those devices cohesively work together like they do in the Fortinet fabric, right? Where you have the unified view, configuration, security, et cetera. And it also means that these devices are very easy to replace. Keep in mind that when you provision these for your customers through an AireSpring contract, if that device dies or it needs upgrades or come what may, it's all taken care of, right? But customers can still get read-only and read-write access to all these platforms and have the visibility and control that they feel comfortable with. But at the end of the day, the buck stops here, meaning that if the Wi-Fi access point of the switch dies, we ship a new one out. And any office person could replace those easily. That's because of technologies like FortiLink, where as soon as you, typically in the architecture, you have the firewall, you connect that to a switch, it comes up automatically in the management portal. They have their own little proprietary, FortiLink protocol that identifies it and configures it. And same thing with the Wi-Fi access points. They'll plug into the switch, they get their power over Ethernet. And power over Ethernet, by the way, is about a quarter of the cost of having to get an electrician in and put power everywhere you need it for cameras, for wireless access points, for overhead speakers, a whole lot of other things. In fact, a lot of smart buildings now, because the PoE switches can deliver in some cases up to 100 watts per port. Now think that your laptop, for example, is only about 65 watts. Builders are saving a tremendous amount of money by putting in these kind of technologies into their building versus the traditional, let me run electrical outlets all over the place. Very expensive when you get electrical engineer out there as well. So we're bringing the managed service. The cost of anything, anyone will tell you this, is the total cost of ownership of the TCO, right? It's, okay, I got the device, but when I've got to upgrade it, it fails and I got to replace it. I got to get out there to begin with just to deploy it, right? And then I've got to have some expertise as to know, particularly with wireless, where to put it. That is one of the most important decisions. I mean, there's literally $20,000 software packages out there to help engineers design where these things should go. Unfortunately, a lot of people use Wi-Fi just willy-nilly, stick it wherever, and that's why they have dead spots. They have intermittent service. They have, you know, when everybody runs to the conference room, it's overloaded and doesn't work well, and it impacts your business. It impacts your attitude, quite frankly, because you're frustrated. So we're bringing that 24/7 proactive monitoring, the customer self-management and visibility portal, predictive wireless. You know, a lot of the great stuff now that's going on with Fortinet and the Wi-Fi that they bring to the table versus traditional Wi-Fi is a lot of automated response. You know, a lot of businesses are in suites, and they're surrounded by 2 different businesses on either side of them that also have all these technologies, Wi-Fi and so on, and they're interfering, right? Or your employees will bring devices in, not realizing that it interferes as well. And so it will automatically switch channels in Wi-Fi and do a lot of optimal adjustments on the fly. And of course, we're sitting there, you know, helping with installation and a lot of other things in a fully managed solution with a fully integrated Fortinet solution. And that is what makes it pretty special, because you just want technology to work. Technology's like air. You know you need it, you got to breathe it. If you don't, you're going to die. But you don't want to have you don't want every breath to be labored. You don't want to have to be constantly, yeah, breathing that oxygen. You know, it's just, you want to take it for granted so that you can focus on your business. Forti switches, you know, extend this integration, extend that visibility by being very easy. I mean, it used to be really hard. You know, when I kind of started out in this business, you had to connect to a switch before you could do anything with it. You had to literally, this was such a pain to get out the laptop, find that special cable, you know, and get in the front and give it at least a basic configuration so you could get the heck out of there. That was the goal, to finish the configuration remotely. You know, even if, you know, you're not leaving the site, you're just sitting at a desk instead of crouched in some dark, dank closet somewhere trying to get this thing online. It's as easy, as I said earlier, as just any office personnel who's non-technical. If this box were to die, we could switch, you know, send you a new switch, you plug it in, boom, it comes up, and then it receives its configuration. That's where the zero touch provisioning comes in. Makes your life and ours very, very easy to get this stuff installed and then basically get it replaced as well, should that be the case. And to scale it, you know, if you get another switch, it plugs into a port from one switch to the other, it comes online, it's recognized, it's added to the system, it auto configures itself with all the right VLANs and PoE settings and everything else that you've come to expect. So very high quality product. You'll find that Fortinet gear is not the sort of stuff that fails, but if it does during the contract period, we'll replace it, right? That's part of the managed service as well, but very high quality gear made for a lot of different situations, whether, and we have customers who have factories, we have customers who have offices, we have customers who have stuff indoor and outdoor. They make gear for that. All right. Oh, sorry, back one slide. And the Wi-Fi can scale. You know, what we're seeing is gigabit and multi-gigabit wireless access. And as the devices continue to progress, you know, Wi-Fi 7 is now on the horizon. You'll be seeing that. They'll add those devices as well. These can come up very easily. They've got built-in Wi-Fi security. Wi-Fi security has always been an issue over the years, right? You want to stay current. Now you don't have to worry about it. You know, the software, firmware, all that stuff is on AireSpring. So you know that you're secure, you know you're configured to best practice standards, and you know that it worked. There's no dead spots and a lot of other stuff. And, you know, things have come along a long ways. You know, it used to be that it was very difficult to roam, for example, if you're on Wi-Fi. Now it's very easy because of the mesh networking that's supported in these units, as well as the tri-band radio access point and the hardware that is really this generation of equipment. It really means that you're going to have less signal interference, higher speeds, you know, multiple channels to pump more bandwidth through. Wireless really has come a long ways, and so that's all built in, along with the security. So if somebody's trying to, you know, hack your wireless network, which is very common these days, you'll be alerted, and the system kind of goes into auto defense mode. So what are we offering across these 3 tiers? Because again, these are the 3 Legos. These are the 3 building blocks of what you're going to use as part of SD-Branch, right? It's not just a, you know, fun marketing term. It actually means something. So you're going to have a FortiGate. That's your firewall. That's going to be handling your edge security as well as your SD-WAN connectivity between you and AireSpring, you and the rest of the offices or world that you have. If you only have one office, no problem. Then it'll be between you and AireSpring and the internet. And then you're going to have your Fortis switch, right? So, and those come in different, form factors. We've got the 108, we've got the 124. So you got a 24 port switch, you got a 48 port switch. If for some reason you don't, end up getting the switches, maybe for cost reasons, or you're gonna wait to get them, it's okay if you've got some switches in between. It won't stop you from deploying the firewall on one side of it and the Wi-Fi on the other, whether you're doing indoor or outdoor Wi-Fi or mesh or whatnot. And if your current switches don't have PoE, we have some PoE injectors as well. So, and then there are a couple of firewall units that have, if you have a small home office or just small office in general, 2, 3, 5 users, like that, you can get Wi-Fi integrated with the firewall, which is kind of a neat form factor to have. Price-wise, you really can't beat it. I mean, when you're looking at the hardware, the software upgrades, we have a multi-million-dollar back-end FortiPortal, FortiManager, FortiAnalyzer environment that's hooking to this, giving you, billion-dollar company tools for spending, really a few $100s a month with AireSpring. That's a tremendous value. Again, the value we bring and the cost basis we remove is significant, meaning that if you went out and did all this yourself, you would spend a fortune trying to do it, and there's no guaranteed result. Keep in mind, when your customer signs an AireSpring contract, there's a guaranteed result. They're not going to end up having to pay, right? It gets installed, it works, it's maintained, it's to best practice for the industry, et cetera. And you can't beat these prices. Again, all software, all hardware included, RMA support, technical support, 24/7, 365. Trying to hire, you look at Dante's a CISSP, very smart guy. You try to hire smart guys, you're typically talking 6 figures, and you need at least 2 of them, unless you're just never going to let that guy out of the building or on a vacation, right? It's always 2+ for redundancy, including the humans. So, when you figure, I could either spend $200,000 a year to have 2 smart security guys, or, hey, you know what? I'm going to go put that on AireSpring. It's a lot easier to go put it on AireSpring. And that's why a lot of global customers, this is why we've had deployments all over the world, huge manufacturing customers, huge retail customers have chosen AireSpring, thanks to you guys, our agents. It's the only way to get to us. They've deployed that worldwide and seen significant standardization and really been able to focus on their business versus, in multiple languages, in multiple countries, in multiple time zones, pulling their hair out, trying to get a hold of carriers and get circuits back online and all that. It really is a comprehensive offering, and at a price you just can't beat. And good news, we have achieved over 50 people plus in the company in very short order, got higher certifications, got initially certified as well. There was a massive push, started with our CEO on down, to get people certified here at AireSpring. And so as part of that, we have now achieved the highest level of partner certification called the Expert Partner, and we're very proud of our relationship with Fortinet. Great company. I can say that, thanks to Dante and Brett Pamaki and a lot of others who on our team work for Dante, they're the reason why I got up to NSE 7 level. So not as high as some people, but it goes to 8. But the reality is that, they really motivate you to and excite you to want to dive deeper into these products. And we've done that. So just know that we're here to support you guys. Now, we don't, for those of you familiar with Fortinet, we don't sell, they got 50 different products out there and 1 million SKUs. That's not us. We kind of view ourselves as the cornerstone. We have clients that have a wild number of Fortinet products, but they view us as the cornerstone because when you want to get all of this SD-Branch gear out there and then build from there, whatever licenses you want, whether you get them from AireSpring or not, that's a huge, huge, huge value. And that's why I always like to say, it's kind of my catchphrase now with Fortinet, is the value we bring and the cost basis we remove is significant. And it is, because that's kind of, whether you want to build a skyscraper on top of that or just a regular house, we become that foundation, that cornerstone, and you're going to go up from there. But we've got the people that are certified, and we're getting the top discounts and engagement now from Fortinet. So thank you, Fortinet, for that support. And I think that's the end. I can't seem to go forward here a little bit. There we go. And so very proud of this partnership. They're bringing excellent hardware, excellent software. We get tremendous support. It kind of is a chain, right? We get excellent support. You get excellent support. Your customers get excellent support. their customers get excellent support. And so it's a very symbiotic food chain from top to bottom. And I'm proud to be partnered with Fortinet. In fact, there's times we'll actually borrow their buildings because they are a global company with north of 13,000 employees. And we'll just borrow one of their offices for a particular meeting. I'm actually doing that next month in November. So great partnership with these guys, great technology, continuing to take the feedback as well that we have from the field and from our customers. You guys have some amazing insights as SASE and a lot of things are rolling out. And we are having those roadmap meetings on Fortinet SASE and many other exciting things that are coming from Fortinet. But the support has been tremendous. And then, of course, we're wrapping around the things we do best. We're the multi-location experts doing this globally, providing internet circuits and LTE globally as well. If you haven't heard that whole story, you have. To bring this together as a comprehensive solution that's fully managed or co-managed if the customer, feels technically savvy enough to participate in that. Great. And then moving forward, one more slide here.
And I don't know. Thanks, Mike. Dante, did you want to add anything here? I know that Mike did cover a lot, but if there's anything else you want.
Mike covered it excellent. And I'll say that we are equally excited about having an organization like AireSpring that can bring the management structures and bring the ability to use our technology in a cohesive fashion to market. So thanks again, Mike, for your kind words as well.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, gentlemen. I think that does conclude the presentation. Now it's time for questions. Everybody, if it's still on the call, please enter a question into the question. I don't have any writing questions currently. So if you'd like to ask either Dante or Mike a question, please enter it into the question pane, which you should find in your GoToWebinar user interface. We'll give it a few seconds. And any other thoughts while we're waiting for people to enter their questions?
Only comment I'd make is, this is a technology I actually use at home. All right. So I just want you guys to know we eat our own dog food or sip our own champagne, whichever you prefer. But the reality is, I run a 60F in my house. It's kept it secure. I haven't been hacked. I don't have any malware running around in here. And so, thanks again to Fortinet, not only for the partnership, but the great products that they have. We use these things every day, day in, day out. We trust them, rely on them to run our business, and so should you. So any questions you have, definitely pop it in. If not, as you guys know, I and the rest of my solutions engineering team here at AireSpring are easy to reach. You can email solutionsengineering@airspring.com, or me personally, mike.chase@airspring.com. It's always first name dot last name @airspring.com if you're trying to reach us, and we try to be highly available. And again, just thank you to all of our agents who've been wonderful. You've really made us top of the charts on SD-WAN globally. And we're looking forward to the same amount of success with you guys as we move forward to sell SD-Branch, not only here in the United States, but now in the 190 countries that we provide internet, LTE, and a lot of other products as well. So thank you for that.
Okay, so we do have two questions. We have a partner asking about how to get Fortinet training. I know
Dante,
that.
take that one.
Yeah, so training.fortinet.com. If you create an account, you should have access to our free training. I believe for customers, what is considered our NSE 1, 2, and 3 is available free. In addition, if you want to take a technical course, there should be some schedules up there, and it will. I think there's a cost fee for that.
Okay, Dante, can we have that URL address again? Did you say training.fortinet? What's that again now?
Training.fortinet.com.
Training.fortinet.com. Okay, that's
And
pretty easy
I
to
can
remember.
put it in the chat if that helps.
Yes.
Really great training online, by the way. Having a lot of our team gone through it, and NSE 1, 2, and 3 are free, so the exams that you'll take are online later. When you get to 4 through 8, etc., you're going to register with vue.com, VUE.com, in order to take those at a proctored facility, which are available worldwide, similar to many other certifications out there for different vendors in the industry. But NSE 1, 2, 3 kind of gives you the concepts and background to Fortinet. When you get to NSE 4, it really deals with the firewalls and the FortiGates. You get to NSE 5, it deals with FortiManager, FortiAnalyzer. 6 covers a lot of their products, and 7 is more of a specialization. In our case, we do a lot of SD-WAN, so that's where a lot of our guys drifted to, was doing the NSE 7 for SD-WAN. 8 is a hands-on lab plus an exam as well, and that's the highest level that they've got. So definitely dive in. I think once you do NSE 1, 2, and 3, you'll probably want to go further and get addicted to it, but it is really some of the finest training out there that you can get online and will help you quite a bit.